Okay, hello! We are here to talk about our book club, Energy Medicine. I think there were more people who read it, but they have not joined us yet, so they might show up as time goes on. But the book is here. I have my copy, never to be ripped my cover like the second day I got it. But super excited about this book. I read Donna Eden's Energy Medicine for Women first, actually, like several years ago, and it really opened my mind up to the potentials for energy healing and what that looks like. And then I decided to read this one, and I realized it was something that other people would enjoy. So, hello, Nicole, welcome.
Hello.
Oh, you're muted, sorry. Okay, I just closed this window, hang on. Okay, so we just read part 1, and you've been studying Reiki, right?
Yeah.
And you're a massage therapist, so you probably have a pretty good understanding of people's energy already.
Yeah. I'm
So
actually trying to find, I literally took notes, but I don't remember which notebook I put them in, so just...
Oh yeah, no worries. I'll talk for a minute about what I thought. So it's pretty basic introduction, I thought, to energy. I really like the way that she approaches it because she's very, very, very practical and offers a lot of evidence for things. Some of my favorite parts were about like phantom limb syndrome and how they have cured that, and how she's cured phantom limb syndrome, and how the meridians are connected to that. And
Yeah.
there's just some really incredible anecdotes, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, being a massage therapist and like a Reiki healer, like that's why I was interested in reading this, because I really haven't like read many things. And it's just cool to like see someone just really kind of putting it at the forefront, and kind of the whole concept of like why she calls it energy medicine is because she says that, like, with the whole like Western society and whatever, that like it really, I don't know, it's like people don't really take it seriously in a sense. So she kind of wanted to take it back by being like, yeah, energy medicine, like this will actually like help you, and like there's reasons why. So I kind of thought that that was cool.
Yeah, I like that too, and it helped me even like kind of legitimize it as not this like this foo-foo idea. Um, and recently, actually, my experience was the reason why I was gravitating towards this book is because I was having like intense sciatic nerve pain, and like nothing was helping it. So I thought I would do yoga every day, and so I have been doing that. But I noticed in doing that my left leg, where I had the sciatic pain, was actually quite a bit weaker than my right leg. And I started to get pretty concerned about that. I was like, why am I having muscle weakness and pain? Like, I can't afford to go to a doctor right now, to go
Yeah.
to an orthopedic surgeon, which is the type of doctor that I'm supposed to go to, is like $400, and my insurance doesn't cover it. So I'm like, well, here's a $20 book. Like, let's start there.
That's what you have to do. Because
I
like
know.
I don't even have insurance. So
Oh my gosh. So I got this book, and then also I got acupuncture, and I never would have tried acupuncture if I hadn't have been in such immense amounts of pain. But I got the acupuncture, and then over the course of about 3 days, I experienced intense emotions, and my pain slowly disappeared. And so I really do feel like our bodies are connected to our emotions and our minds. I think our bodies are just kind of like sort of a manifestation of our minds, even, or at least the well-being of our bodies is. And she doesn't even go into all this. She's a very simple explanation of just the energy systems that interact with the physical world. But I think it's even more complex than she presents it. But I think it's probably really important the way that she presents it.
yeah, I really liked that too. Like it's really kind of like easy to understand, and I think that she explains all of it in like a really good way, because a lot of the times when I try to talk to people about this stuff, it is hard to tell them, and it is hard to kind of like describe like what I mean, even with Reiki, like what actually happens. You know what I mean? Like it's really like more of a sensation, and it's very hard to like say that to people because they just usually don't believe you and whatever. But like I really appreciate this also because like I've had so many experiences where I've like, you know, done energy work on people who just like didn't understand it or like didn't really like think that anything was gonna happen, and then afterwards they were just like, whoa,
Yeah,
like what was that? So
totally. I know.
yeah.
And she has tons of
And I
anecdotes about that. Like, there's this one really dramatic one where this woman comes in and she's got cancer on her ovary or something, and they're going to operate. And what happened in that? Then she got,
it just like went away, like the tumor. She did
yeah.
something.
Well, and then the husband was like demanding that she not go back, and then the woman was like, I won't charge you. And so they like carried her back in, and then like she totally cured this woman's like ovarian cancer, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to
Yeah.
me because yeah, energy is like totally connected, and like I personally always have seen it as connected to the emotions, and I know that it is, but I don't think it's as simple as saying, because so I've had this leg pain for like, and I believe it's a blessing in the sense that I'm like learning a lot because of it. But I had this
Yeah.
sciatic nerve pain for about 6 years on and off, and I read a lot of Hay's books, which are talking about like exactly how your emotions interact with each of your body parts. So with your legs, that's like your direction, like your purpose, like moving forward in life. So if you're having leg pain, maybe it means you're not moving forward in the right direction or things like that, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
That's
there's
interesting.
Louise Hay is like amazing for that, but then like no matter, but to have it for 6 years and have so many different life circumstances happening and
Yeah.
so many different emotional reactions to those things, and to have the pain perpetuate, it made me have to reevaluate and say maybe there's something else going on here that's just like more than emotional, more than straight emotional.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
when I got the acupuncture, I did feel a release of emotions, but I don't think I could have accessed that mentally as easily. And I think energy work probably would have done a similar thing. But it's
Yeah.
just it's so curious. Like I think the more language that we can use to describe these things, and the more people we have who are, you know, writing and reading books like this, the more articulate we'll become, and the more tangible these healing mechanisms will be. Because right now, the way that Western medicine is just treating the end result. It's not treating the cause ever. Oh, never.
No, I totally agree with that. And like it's a I don't know, it's a very kind of like hot topic between like, you know, some people that I know because I'm like integrated in like all these music scenes, and there's a lot of people who are very like passionate and outspoken and stuff. And a lot of people, like there are some people that get like very kind of like defensive over the whole like medication thing, which I kind of understand, but it's like I'm also at the point where I guess, you know, I mean, I've watched your videos and stuff on that too, like taking medicine and stuff like
Hello.
that.
Hi, Daniel. Nice to see
Hi.
you.
Hey, yeah, good to see you guys and meet you guys.
Yeah. Let me just.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No, no worries.
Because
Nicole,
I just
finish.
got it set up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Welcome. Nicole, go on with what you were saying. You were talking about antidepressants and medication, and the differing opinions on that.
Oh yeah, I've watched your videos and stuff on it, and like I don't know, I mean, I always naturally like felt that way as well because I was in therapy for a very long time, and eventually I decided that figured I would like try to like be on medication or whatever. And I don't know, like I maybe I didn't try like enough of them, which is a crazy statement to say also because everyone was like, oh, you have to like find the right combination and whatever. But I just knew that it was never going to change like my actual thoughts. And quickly kind of decided after a while to not do it. And now, like, I mean, yeah, like, obviously we also kind of like struggle with things and whatever, but I just really feel like I've definitely like improved without that. And I also found out recently, my friend went to a psychiatrist recently because she's always had a lot of like, I guess like different emotional like issues in a sense, and she finally kind of decided to do something about it. But she just went to a psychiatrist and got prescribed medication. Kind of crazy that you can just go and get prescribed something without talking to like a therapist for a while, or like without kind of like going for like a couple of sessions and just be like that you can just go in there and then they can just like give you whatever. Shocked by that because I didn't realize that.
And not to say that it shouldn't be cheap, but if you have insurance, a lot of times if you're getting generic medications, especially, it can be like $12 a month or something, which is, you know, great if it's working for you.
Yeah.
But why can't we have alternative medicines be that cheap? You know, why can't these other things that aren't filling your acupuncture, energy medicine, Reiki, yoga classes, you know, like, why does that have to cost $100 a month rather than those cheap things? So hi, Daniel. Sorry to wait on saying hi.
No worries.
What is your like background and interaction with energy healing, and what have you thought of the book so far?
Well, so I just bought the book today, and I actually think I've read, I've seen videos of this author. Does she do energy tracing? Does she talk about energy tracing?
Not yet.
Like tracing the meridians, but has she put out videos on it? Maybe. Probably. I think I've seen her. That's why, like.
Yeah, she's really kind of a leader in the field. At least she's been involved with this type of work for a really long time. So probably if you've seen videos of her, it covers. I think the intro and the first part of the book are similar to videos that I've seen of her.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen something at least, like, or I've come across that name before. So
yeah.
But my experience with energy healing, well, I've had a lot of trauma, and so I actually had to see. I've seen like different healers to like heal, but I'm pretty aware of like the chakra system, and I've done acupuncture. And I used to practice some Tai Chi, and yeah, I mean, it works. Like, energy healing is like amazing.
What do you think is happening energetically? And Nicole, I'd like your input on this too. Like, if you had to describe energy healing to somebody, like, and what would you say? Like, what do you see it as? How do you see it interacting with the physical world? How would you describe it?
That's interesting because I always do try to explain it to people and tell them is that, like, yeah, I try to tell them about basically, like, briefly about the energy systems, like, in their body, and, you know, kind of, because some people don't even really realize that, like, we are made up of, like, energy and stuff. So it's like you kind of have to try to, like, explain that. And I think that the way that it interacts physically is, I guess, by just, like, I don't know, and this is like the hard part to describe to people. Like, physically, I always try to kind of like give people examples of things that I have felt to like let them know like what they might experience, like when they're getting Reiki done or something like that. I just think that it can really like bring people to a place that they really never thought was possible. And that's kind of also what I try to like tell them. Answers that question, but yeah.
How would you describe it, Daniel, if somebody asked you?
Well, I guess it would start by like definition of like Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared. So like mass, or like physicality is energy, and energy is matter. So that there's to make the analogy of like there's different levels of like so like you have the physical body, you have your thoughts, like your mental, you have your emotions. Then you could like, I guess I would try to like talk about like auras, I guess, a little bit, and like explain that hey, if you're going into a situation where you don't feel comfortable, you would get like a feeling in your gut, and try to like bring a past example or like try to elicit an example from them. And it was like, so you didn't see something, but you felt something, and kind of like establish reality, or like reaffirm that reality is not just physical. And so basically just explain that and come to a consensus on that, and then sort of explain kind of like, I guess, my own experience of how I would talk about like my own past hurt and trauma, and kind of like my own like having like a messed up energy field, and like bring them through like how I've had like energy work, either like acupuncture or energy healing, and explain the difference of like how I've felt much calmer, like cleared, like relieved from like affliction, or just like OCD to a degree, you know. And I guess sort of explain that it's like I don't know, it's like difficult to describe. Like it's hard to like,
Yeah.
because like we're grown, and we're sort of like we live in a society, in Western society, where it's like that's all like it's we don't really talk about energy really at all. And so it's sort of difficult to even really like have conversations with people, because most people are stuck in that paradigm. So it's like it would take a while to sort of explain what energy, or like how energy medicine could work, and like the uses of it. And but I guess we'll talk about, yeah, sort of that. And like I really like the chakra system. The chakra system is like it's really useful, but I guess that's a little bit hard to grasp. I mean, I don't know, like it's difficult.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing explanation. I mean, I really like the way that you explained the physical world, and then the mental world, and the emotional world. So those are things that we do acknowledge, and they are energetic, and we might not necessarily think of them as like that way, but
Yeah.
I think people generally think of emotions as just something that either happens to them, or that they create, or a natural consequence of some kind of situation. But I really liked how Donna Eden in the book, she said that if you just start talking to a child about energy, and you just kind of allow them to explore energy, and you say, yeah, like you can see energy, and even if you don't see the energy yourself, you talk about it as if you can, and then that actually allows the child's consciousness to accept that and to integrate that into their reality, so they can see the energy. So we shut that down so early, because the way that she explains it in the book is that we're all born with this ability to sense and see energy, but there's no confirmation about it, so we slowly shut it down. It's like I tried for like probably like 4 months to see auras, until I realized that I was already seeing them. I was just discrediting what I was seeing as not an aura, because I didn't think it was like magnificent enough.
Right.
You know, it's like the way I see auras is kind of like how you can see your nose if you're like looking down. It's like there, you just like tune it out, because we haven't been taught to acknowledge its presence. And I just wonder how much of reality is like that, but that's another topic.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah, I mean, like yeah, because everything's based on like social rules, and like, so if you don't have social confirmation, if you don't have a community where like you're reinforcing positive ideas, or like real ideas, then it gets lost. And so, because it's not real, because it's like you don't have anyone to validate it. So like, you know, it's necessary to have like a community. And yeah, I guess energy is like it's subtle, you know. So
I think it's subtle to us because we haven't learned how to work with it and we haven't acknowledged it, and we're still grasping towards understanding it.
yeah.
We're kind of in the dark, but I think it's actually more than subtle. I think it's probably everything.
Well, that's a great, absolutely, yeah.
One quote that like I wrote down, talking about like it says subtle energies, but it says the bridge between spirit and matter. So I think that that's also like a really cool way to describe it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. I like that because I often conceptualize of a higher self as being connected to me, and I really like that bridge idea of like where is that higher mind. And I think she talked about this, the higher mind that can both see the body and see the spirit and navigate those two worlds and let the energy in that needs to come in. So yeah, it's all amazing stuff.
So, what do you say the purpose for this is? It for self healing, or are you wanting to heal others? Like, are you wanting to become maybe a healer, or is it more so just education? Or
Yeah, I mean, I personally was wanting to use it for knowledge and for my own personal healing, but I feel like I've gotten better as a healer also through reading it and comprehending some different perspectives of healing. Like the more perspectives of energy healing that I have exposed myself to, the greater my own understanding has become. So, I mean, I really enjoy working with it. The other day, I healed. Jeremy, I'm going to tell that story about your finger. Sorry. Is that okay? Jeremy, his finger was hurting, and then Nefertiti pulled the leash and like pulled his finger, right? And so if I like
I think she's cutting off. Is she getting cut off for you?
Yeah, she is. Hold on. My phone's also about to die, so
It was like robotic, and then it's like
yeah, that
you get that? Okay.
Yes.
It's actually kind of cool. So I get. So what is your name?
I'm Nicole, actually.
Nicole. Okay.
Okay.
Daniel.
Hello.
Gonna be
Hello.
Oh, hey, you're right. Your video audio like phased out.
I was doing too much energy work.
Yeah.
No, but I was basically saying I basically was sending the intention like a safe mode reboot, like go back to the state that it was in before the injury happened, and to remember that state and to just put it automatically back into that. And it seemed to work pretty well. So, and that's just something that I didn't think of, it's like it just happened and I just thought that, and then it seems to help quite a lot. So I'm always like curious to explore different like ways of thinking about stuff and seeing how the conceptualization of the healing actually affects the healing.
Well, recently I had 2 times where I had like, now this is also just with like Reiki, I guess. But there was 2 times where one, my neck was really bothering me, and I tried to massage it. I tried to have other people massage it. Nothing really worked. And then I really just like sat and did Reiki on it for like 20 minutes, and it's like I couldn't really like turn my neck fully before I did it, and then afterwards I could just fully turn my neck and I had no pain. And then today and or mostly yesterday and the day before that, my hand was really bothering me. And I don't know, it was worrying me because I'm a massage therapist, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know, I was like thinking like, what if this is like permanent, or I hope that this doesn't turn into like a permanent like type of pain. And like, I kept telling myself like, yeah, just do Reiki on it, blah, blah, blah. But I just like didn't really do it. I was just like icing it and whatever. And then last night I finally did it. And like it felt better, and then this morning I woke up and it was like pretty much completely fine.
Well.
So
yeah, and I think there's just probably anecdote after anecdote about it. So how, Nicole, would be great to get your perspective. How is Reiki different than what Donna Eden's talking about in this book? I mean, we haven't really gotten into like the meat of the book or like exactly how to energy heal according to Donna Eden, but from what you've read, how is it the same or how is it different from Reiki?
It is a little bit different. I mean, it's weird because I feel like I kind of have, like, she kind of describes, like, when she has healing sessions or whatever, that she, like, takes on, like, people's pain. So I feel like I've kind of experienced that before, or, like, there'll be times when I'll be massaging someone and I'll, like, get this pain and I'll be like, oh, is this bothering you? And they're just like, yeah, it is. So, I thought that was, pretty, like, similar, but I don't really, like, see, like, she kind of describes, like, she says that, like, she can, like, in a sense physically, or, like, it's like this, like, it's like this certain color, I forget what she says it is, but she'll, like, see the energy or, like, where the pain is, which, like, that doesn't really happen. When I read that, I feel like it's like, okay, I feel like everybody can heal, but I feel like, yeah, everybody could kind of, like, see it differently. Like, that might not really happen for everybody. So I thought that was kind of, like, different.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to take the word of somebody who's saying, yeah, I can see this just like I can see the real world. And then you're like, I can't. Like, that's not happening to me.
Well, there was another thing too. The one thing that, like, I don't know if I necessarily agreed with was she was talking about how you could like sense what kind of food is, like, good for your body or something, and, like, you could do, like, an energy test. And I don't know, that was kind of, I actually watched a video about it. I actually watched a video of her, like, doing it, and I was like, I don't know. But that's the only thing that I really was, like, kind of, like, unsure about. Other than that, I just thought that with the energy systems, like, that also all has to do with, like, right. So it feels like she was kind of just, like, a natural. I mean, I know she had all of these, like, health issues as well, but, like, it was like she kind of really knew all of this stuff without anybody really having to tell her.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of disheartening, but I think she's also pretty good at explaining it.
She is.
Did you try energy testing with a partner?
I didn't try energy testing with a partner.
It's really incredible. I highly recommend trying it because you think that it's not gonna do anything, and if you think like you can do it with like a mood or a thought, right? Something that bothers you or something you're not looking forward to, and you know somebody's pushing on your arm and you're thinking of something like that, and your arm's just like so weak, even though you're trying to keep it strong. And if you think of something that you're really looking forward to, it'll be strong. And so I really like that idea and that very practical test because it really does show that like our mood and our energy is being affected, and it's actually zapping our physical strength and like our vitality overall. So that I feel like that's a really invaluable lesson to take away or tool. And I did try the testing with food. She says to you can hold if you're doing it by yourself, you can hold the food and close your eyes, and you'll either lean forward or back. And if you lean forward, that means that your body wants the food, and if you lean back, it means your body doesn't want the food. And so I was eating like a cheese and egg, like not McMuffin, but like something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted it. It sounded really good to me. Like that's what I wanted to eat. And I was excited to eat it, and I was hungry also. And I think what happened is I was thinking, oh, because I'm hungry, my body will definitely lean forward with this case. And like no matter what I did, I just kept leaning back and back and back. And I tried it so many times because I was like, this can't be right. Like I really want to eat this right now. And you know, it's really interesting. You try it with different foods, and you can also kind of try to tap into how you feel about that food. Like, is that food gonna give you like a quick boost of energy, or like, do you feel like that food's like a treat, or do you feel like that food's really going to nourish you? Like, these are things we should and can know, I think, but yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know. I don't know if that's a legitimate thing or not, but I do think the other energy testing is definitely powerful.
Maybe I'll try that tonight, because I'm actually kind of soon I'm supposed to be hanging out with my girlfriend. I actually just got in a relationship. Just a side note, I just got in a relationship today, actually.
Congratulations. Today you did.
Today.
Oh my gosh.
Very cool.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
So maybe try it with her, because like I've been wanting to, but I just keep forgetting to do it. So
yeah, it's a good idea. It's just read what she writes about it. It's so amazing, like how it really does change. And you can really tell. And before that energy test, I've always described trying to like listen to your intuition as like either you get that sinking feeling or that rising feeling. But I really personally look forward to instruments, that fine-tuned instruments that can read. I got really excited when I read that part in the book about the potential for these technologies to sense and read and determine our energies. So imagine if you had a constant energy reader. Not only would that be very useful to your overall well-being, because you could see if you go near someone you don't like or someone you have trouble communicating with, that's going to go way down, or if you're around someone you really like or love, it's going to go way up. Not only would that be very useful, but also it could help you learn how to listen to your own energy, because I think we have so much expectation about like how we're supposed to feel about certain things. Like how I felt about that sandwich. Like I felt like I wanted to eat it and I was hungry, so it should be good. But
yeah, like cultural conditioning.
It's not always that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything else to talk about with part 1?
So yeah, I actually just got the book. I was trying to get it and read it.
No worries. Well, I mean, the first
definitely
part,
get to it.
It's like pretty basic and like just kind of an introduction to energy testing and a lot of really amazing anecdotes. And it doesn't really get into the energy healing aspect directly yet. And so that's totally okay. Like I just wanted to meet and like talk about, it's kind of a big book too, so breaking it up into parts is nice. And then I wanted to meet and just talk about, you know, just our backgrounds and what we were thinking of the book so far. So we'll meet again. I think we could probably.
It's a broad topic.
The rest of it, yeah, it is a broad topic. And then meet again and talk about the specific techniques that she teaches, and then also how they are working in our lives.
I really like the title of, I don't know if it's the first, the part 1 to the first part, the awakening the 2 million year old healer inside of you. I really, really love that like title, because it resonates so much, and it's also something that I've tried. It's like I really try to explain to people, like I really feel like everybody can do it. I liked that. I'm just like skimming through like the notes.
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up, because when I read that explanation, awakening the 2 million old healer, and like talking about how if our ancestors didn't know how to heal themselves, they would have just died. And like, I think that the story that we're told about our ancestors is that they were just these like fucking idiots who like would die all the time, no matter what, you know, like they didn't have any medicine, so they would just like die all the time, you know. It's like that, like, oh, they didn't have this medicine, so they would just die. They didn't have that medicine. That's like that. Everybody says, oh, antibiotics are like the greatest medicine that was ever invented, and it's like, probably, yeah, but like also,
how would we be here if everyone was really just dying? Like,
yeah,
you know.
And I like that retelling of that story of like, actually, our ancestors were super spiritually enlightened and they knew how to work within energy systems and to heal the body. Like, that's not hard to imagine at all.
Yeah.
It's actually very, very, very likely, especially since they lived before the time that they could depend on things like antibiotics to carry them through.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like, I don't know, people always have that thing where it's like they always have the thing where it's like, well, what did we really do before like medicine and like blah blah blah, and it's like they don't even like, and then it just like the thought just like stops there, like they don't even really acknowledge that like, okay, we did do a bunch of different stuff, and like
there were herbs, there was energy medicine, there was healing, all kinds of crazy stuff we could never even imagine.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah, but then modern society came in and I guess materialized it, but not necessarily. It's too much emphasis on it for sure. Like, not enough understanding of energy medicine as a legitimate thing. In the East, it is for sure, but over here in the West, it's not.
It's more complex than we pretend it is.
And I also wrote down that healing energy is embedded in our tissues and healing abilities are coded in our psyche. That was a quote that I wrote down, which again goes back to just like the whole ancestors thing, of like just being spiritual, like knowing how to like heal certain things, or like just what all the examples that you just gave, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Have you read through the whole book?
No, we just read part 1. So it really was just an introduction to the way that she approaches it, and also energy testing. So you're not too far behind, and I'll set up another time for us to meet, maybe in a couple of weeks, to discuss the whole book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely want to try that like energy testing tonight. I'll probably do that.
Yeah, do. And maybe try it with some foods as well, like maybe foods that are good for you or bad for you, or what you can see.
Yeah, because I'm gonna make dinner, so I'll see. Then I'm gonna be like, oh no, if this doesn't agree with me, like, what am I gonna eat?
Yeah. I just ignored it and I ate my food, but
yeah, because
I think about it.
I know, yeah, and sometimes it has to be like that, just when it's like when that's all you have and you're just like ravenous.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much.
It was so good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Nice to meet you.
That's awesome. And how do you pronounce your name? Zuanna? Xana?
Oh, yeah, it's actually Unicole.
Oh.
I just...
Okay, you prefer... Okay.
Yeah, I go by Unicole. Zuanna is just the name that I made up so that I could be on Facebook, because they won't let me be Unicole Unicon.
Okay.
Because they're jerks.
Yeah, they don't allow fake names. Or like, just like untraditional names, I should say.
Yeah, they allow you like that's made up, so.
Are you the one that commented on the group? No, I'm sorry.
You were both talking. Try again.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are you the one that commented on the Facebook group thing?
Me?
No, Daniel.
Oh, I said, is this via video? ?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
And what did you ask, Daniel?
I forgot. It probably wasn't that important.
All right.
I feel like
Huh?
What?
I feel something about the name, Zuanna or Unicole.
You feel something about the name.
You feel it?
Wait, what?
What'd you say?
I'm so confused.
I said I thought he was asking about your name.
Oh, I was. Oh, okay, yeah. That's probably what. Yeah. Yeah. I think I just wanted confirmation. It was Unicole, not Unicorn. Yeah. Unicole.
Unicole.
So it's like Nicole, but Unicole.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Unicole Unicron. And yeah, it should be just what I'm allowed to have on Facebook, but it's not. So pages are BS.
That's a bummer.
I kind of like having my legal entity being like this. I'm kind of like a superhero in a way, right? I've got like my secret corporate identity.
Yeah.
Which doesn't interact with the internet at all. And then I have my like real identity, which is Unical Unicron, and then Unical has to be split into Zuana Woodlight because Facebook is a jerk. So it's exciting to be having all those names.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Maybe eventually. I don't know. I kind of like having the two names, but I don't identify with my legal name.
Yeah. But I mean, you're kind of right.
It's weird.
What is the name? Name is just, it's just a whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be. I mean, yeah, it's something.
It's important, and I'm glad I chose. Like, I like to have. Like, I was feeling kind of weird about the name Unical Unicron the other day. I was like, "Whoa!" I chose that. Like, and I was like, I can't really change it. Like, do I like that name forever? Like, it just kind of dawned on me, and I was like, yes. And then I realized, like, wow, you don't even choose your like legal name, like the name you're born with, and like that's something you have forever usually. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I didn't even choose that one. Yeah.
Craziness.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a great night.
Yeah. See ya. Good to meet you guys.
Bye.